Welcome back, you all, to another episode of Coming to the Stage. I am so excited to have you join us again for another opportunity to be introduced to a powerhouse woman with a powerhouse voice and a powerhouse message that is meant to inspire, encourage, and empower you forward. I am Andromeda Raheem, your host of Coming to the Stage, and I'm the founder of She Wins Society. And every Wednesday and Friday, you can look forward to seeing us right here live on Facebook and YouTube, introducing you to, like I said, another powerful woman who is going to come and share a message that I know is going to encourage you, inspire you, and empower you. So on this season of Coming to the Stage, we are specifically speaking with the amazing, phenomenal women who are going to be gracing our empowerment stage at the She Wins Conference and Awards on November 9th in Atlanta, Georgia. And so without further ado, I am going to go ahead and bring our next speaker to the stage. This is none other than Rikki McCoy. She is a holistic therapist, licensed clinical social worker, and the founder of Flourishing Minds. Welcome, Rikki McCoy, to the stage.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I'm so excited. So every time that I get an opportunity to just, whether it's share something about you in our email list or on social media, I'm just always so excited because I'm just like, she is a baddie. Like, you really are like that girl. Reading your bio, I'm like double HBCU grad, like you got your own practice, like you are doing the thing. So for anybody who is not familiar with Rikki, can you please just give them a little bit more about who you are and what you do?
Yes. Hey, y'all. I'm Rikki McCoy. I'm a licensed holistic therapist here in Atlanta, Georgia, and I do therapy full time. I have my practices Flourishing Minds here in Atlanta. And as a holistic therapist, one of the things that I do, like we do talk therapy, we do the traditional, talk about all the things, but I'm also a registered yoga teacher. I do sound healing, breath work, meditation, and I'm also a Reiki practitioner. So I'm bringing in holistic modalities in a way just to help us to learn how to self-soothe, to help us learn how to cope in life, right? And so I just love teaching. I love to teach about how to take care of yourself, how to show up as your best self, how to make sure you're living in your truth and walking in your authentic power.
Yes, which is something I think all the girls need. Like you cover all the things for self-care, it seems, and therapy is a big thing. I love that. I feel like in this generation, it's a conversation that we're having a lot more. I don't know about you, but like I definitely come from some people in my family who like, oh, therapy, that's for white people. And like, all kind of wild things can come out of people's mouths when it comes out therapy in the older generation. But this generation, I feel like we're embracing it. How do you feel about that?
We are, and I love to see it. I always say, like, we are our ancestors' wildest dreams, right? Because we have the tools, we have the techniques, we have the support that looks like us, feels like us. You really create this atmosphere. I like to call it like a safe space for people to show up as them full selves. And you be you and be the Black girl and be all of the things that we are and feel like understood, feel heard, feel valued, like all of the things.
Yes, I do think that's super dope to be able to find somebody who does look like you and kind of just shares an energy and understanding of like your life experiences to be able to talk to. I think that's so amazing. So shout out to you and thank you to you for being that girl for many of us who need you.
Yes. Thank you. It's truly like passion work for me.
Yes. So, She Wins Society, we definitely tailor a lot of our conversations, events, conferences, retreats to women who are ambitious, women who are leaders, creators, entrepreneurs. And so I can attest to the fact that, like I remember when I worked for someone that had its own share of pros and cons and stresses and such. But the entrepreneurship journey to me, nothing has impacted my mental health like entrepreneurship, right? Yeah. Like there's so many different aspects of this particular journey where if you are not staying on top of your mental health, you can definitely find yourself feeling depressed, anxious, just drowning in negative thoughts and feeling low self-worth and so many things. Mm-hmm. So with you in your practice, like, do you work with entrepreneurs and what are some of the common struggles that you see?
I do. Yes, I work with a lot of entrepreneurs. I work with a lot of women that are like that 18 to maybe like 40, 45. So like that transitional, like young adulthood, like college, career, corporate, entrepreneur, all of the things, right? The biggest thing that I like to teach and educate people on is just structure, routine, making sure you have a self-care routine that works for you and your lifestyle, regardless of if you're single, if you're married, if you have kids. Like, we got to find realistic expectations for ourselves, right? Hold ourselves accountable for us, and that may look different than the next woman. So I'm here to pour into you, feed into you, like, and come up with a self-care routine that looks good for you.
Yes. So what do you tell the woman? Because I know, whether this is your friends, family members, or clients, I know you've come across women who say, I don't have time. I don't have time for that. Like, I'm running this business, or I got these kids, or whatever it is. Like, I don't have time for that.
So I get on people's level, right? I meet them where they are. You gotta make time. That's first and foremost. You want to show up as your full self. You want to show up as your highest self. Like, we want to walk in life as our higher self, right? Mm-hmm. She needs to be rested. She needs to have boundaries. She needs to move her body. She needs to have outlets. She needs to be responsible for herself in all of the ways. And so we talk about accountability. I'm like the accountability cheerleader. Like, what are we doing to get you there, to help you meet these goals? Because you can't really show up in your business if you're not taking care of yourself. Yeah. And it's hard to show up as a mom and in all the other roles that we have if you're not taking care of yourself. So small wins are wins. Lots of grace, lots of patience, right? Because you're learning new ways of being. You're learning new habits. So we're unlearning some of the things that we might have learned that are not working for us anymore. Just to not give up. Don't compare your journey to anybody else's journey.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, listen, like I said, that's the one thing I did learn. It took me 5 years into my entrepreneurship journey to really get that I needed to do it, and probably a couple more years to really apply it.
Yes.
But that was making time for self-care. Like, now is a non-negotiable for me, because it's like there's so many things that I want to do, so many things on my plate. And I know the only way that I'm going to get it done is if I do take that time for self-care. Otherwise, I'm gonna crash and burn. And like, I don't have time for that.
Gonna crash and burn. Your body gonna shut down. Your immune system, eczema, skin. Like, pay attention to your body. Our bodies tell us what's going on. Yeah. And so I'm just educating on like how to tap in. Like, hey, your body's like, something's wrong. So
yes, that's so good. Yes, we need. Listen, I don't think that we could ever get enough reminders.
Yeah.
To pause, slow down. I think I saw you post something recently about like you not allowing yourself to have like all these, be overbooked because you don't want to and you can't do it all. And I was like, yes.
Oh, I cannot save the world. Us as women, as Black women specifically, like, we got to take off the cape. Mm-hmm. You cannot do it all, but you can make much more impact when it's intentional and when you show up as your full self and when you show up rested.
Yes. And that glow.
Yes.
The glow. I think I saw you post something recently too about that, the glow recipe. What's the glow recipe?
Is resting, being still, not running from things, right? I was a runner. So it's just like, I'm gonna be busy. I'm gonna go on that trip, do all these things. It's like, no, you gotta take care of home. Mm-hmm. And so you have to be willing to get uncomfortable and sit in that stillness that a lot of us are running from.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, I could go on and on about that. Like, just so many things that I remember. I had 2020 was a very rough year for, I think, most of us, all of us, right? And then along with, losing people, having to pivot in life and business and all these just different adjustments. I just remember, like, I never took the time I needed to grieve losses. And then at some point it just kept caught up with me. Like, I didn't have anything to give to anybody. I didn't even recognize myself anymore. It was like, who are you?
Yes. So, in order to get that glow and maintain the glow, and a lot of people acting like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm meditating. I'm moving my body. I'm being still. I'm pouring into me. I'm filling my cup for once instead of always trying to fill everybody else's cup, and reaching, instead of having that outside validation, like, I'm going within.
Yes. So do you think, okay, because I know that the times are changing. And like I said, I feel like the younger generation is kind of catching on to things sooner than we did.
They are.
But for me, I felt like, it took me into my late 30s to really get some of the things that we're saying. Like, stop trying to seek that external validation. It really does not matter as much as you think it does. So if there's something you would tell your younger self, what would it be?
Just to live in my truth. That's what this year has been focused on. The stillness was needed so that I could figure out what that truth was for me. Leaving a marriage, getting a divorce, pivoting, starting over. Was I living in my truth in the first place? Was I not? Like, that kind of thing. Just to be unapologetic in who you are.
Yeah.
And not to people please. A lot of us are people pleasers and we're living our lives for other people.
Yes.
But this is your life.
Oh, the things I would have done differently
Yes,
sooner if I would have knew that earlier.
me too. Yeah. And they're catching on earlier because, technology, like all of the things, like we just didn't have access to this stuff as
Yeah,
early as they do.
this is true. So I mean, I'm happy for them though.
Me
I just like,
too.
yes, that's
And I
what's
learned a
supposed
lot
to
from them
happen.
too. I learned a lot from them. It's like, because they think differently than us. They're not overthinking. They're not, they're doing what they need to do for them. So we
They
can
do.
learn a lot from each other too.
I agree. I
Yeah.
totally agree. So, Rikki, you are speaking on our Unstoppable Entrepreneur panel. However, with your credentials and experience, expertise, you honestly could have spoken on any panel. We have our Finding Grace in Motherhood panel. We have our Claiming Victory Over Adversity panel. We have our Leading with Vision and Purpose panel. Why is it that you chose to speak on the Unstoppable Entrepreneur panel?
I think first and foremost, just the ability to get up every day and like truly walk in my purpose. And really, like, work doesn't feel like work to me. It's very much, like I said earlier, purpose driven. And I think we all can get there. I think we all can really sit with ourselves long enough to figure out what that passion is, right?
Mhm.
And just not give up. Just keep going. Just keep putting it out there. Not comparing yourself to anybody. Like, you're different, you're unique. How can you show up and stand in your light, in your truth, and make a difference and inspire somebody else?
Yeah. Yeah. What's one of the best lessons that you have learned as an entrepreneur?
To keep going, to
To
post
keep
it anyway, to put it out anyway.
That's good.
Yes. And I would also say too, money management, budgeting, like those kind of things have been important as well. Sustainability, right?
Mm,
It's one thing to start the business, but is the business making money? Is the business working for you? Are you really like working? Like for me, I say I like create soft life for myself, whether I have a partner or not. And that means I want to be at home. Like I want to do all the divine feminine energy things. I can still work, but I like to be at my house. So
yeah.
how can I make that life work for me? How can I make that business plan work around what I want for my personal life?
Mm, that's good. And honestly, I think that is the biggest thing when it comes to entrepreneurship for a lot of people is that they're seeking the freedom, right?
Mhm.
But what ends up happening is, like you said, when there's no structure, when you're not clear about what's going on, you don't have a plan for your
Yeah.
self-care and all those things, you end up just basically in the same type of nervous anxiety type of situation than you were when you were working for someone. You're still not finding joy and freedom in your day because you're still in this hustle and bustle of
Oh
all
yeah, it's very much still an unhealthy cycle.
yeah.
And so, part of therapy and how that works into entrepreneurship is like changing cycles, breaking patterns. The pattern don't stop until you stop it. And so, having an accountant is still part of your self care routine. Having a budget is still part of your self care routine. Filing your taxes, make sure you pay the people, is still part of your self care routine because those things create stress. So,
Yeah.
how can we create our support team, right? That
Mhm.
accountant, that therapist, that maybe, I don't know, coach, mentor, whoever, how can we create that team so that we can show up in the way that we need to in our business?
That's so good. It's the hard thing. Me and my husband literally just had a conversation about this yesterday night. And
Mhm.
he's a new entrepreneur. Like he's fully went into it now. And so
Okay.
he's kind of starting to feel the stresses, but he tries to avoid like the things that most people don't want to do. Like
Mhm.
in terms of like sitting down to create the systems and such. And so I'm like, that's what's causing you the stress. Like if you would just sit down and do the hard thing for
Yeah.
you, then it will make things smoother for you moving forward.
Yeah.
So for that person who is like running from the difficulty, running from the hard thing, like what advice do you have for them?
I want them to think of it like a house. Like if your foundation is shaky, your business is going to be shaky. If your foundation as a person is shaky, you're going to be shaky as a person. And so it's like a blueprint. Like, what is the blueprint for your business? What is the blueprint? I have a self-care blueprint, right? Like, there's a
Mhm.
blueprint for how we need to plan and implement and move forward and just stay consistent. Tweak the plan when you need to. Be okay with it flowing, changing, moving. We have to be okay with it not really going always the way we want it to. Just get back up and try again and keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And have the accountability so that when it's not going the way you need it to go, you got somebody that can help you like figure it out. Yeah.
Let's talk about that,
Yeah.
because on my entrepreneurship journey, I can be honest and say that I struggled for a very long time with asking for help and
Yes.
also with delegating.
Yes.
And I've spoken to a lot of entrepreneurs who feel the same way. Like a lot of things, it's like, I don't want people to know that I'm struggling, especially because when you look out there on social media, it's like this entrepreneurship supposed to be this glamorous thing. Everybody's winning, they're succeeding, they do it, they launches, and it's great. What's happening with me? I don't want people to know, like, my social media may be perfect, but in the background, I'm literally struggling to get these sales, get these systems in order. Like, what advice do you have for that person?
Yeah, perfection does not exist. Right? Mindset is everything, really. Like, you got to know that people are only putting out the best. Not everybody is sharing their truth because not everybody is comfortable with their truth. So they're not gonna put it out there. So you gotta be mindful of what you're taking in. Be mindful of part of protecting your energy is being mindful of what you take in. So there are times when I get on social media strictly to post my awareness things around mental health and self-care. I'm not up there consuming information. I'm posting and I'm getting off, right? I'm making sure I'm using it strategically because it's there to help grow my business. You have to have self-control and discipline to do that, though, right? Absolutely. And that's where the accountability comes in, because you got somebody checking in. Hey, what you doing? Like I ask clients, what are you doing, mind, body, and spirit? What you do for your mind this week? What you do for your body? What you do for your spirit? And you got to know how to protect yourself. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think that having these spaces, whether it's with your therapist, whether it's with a group of friends, whether it's a community, but being able to have like these real, honest, vulnerable conversations about like, girl, I am struggling, or my business is going through this. Like, I remember the earlier part of this year, like, was looking real shady. Like, okay, Lord, now I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm gonna keep trusting you and keep walking down this path, because I've been doing this a long time. So I don't get too frazzled when things start looking crazy. But it was like a breath of fresh air to be able to look out and see, or even have conversations with other entrepreneurs who saying like, yeah, the economy is kind of ghetto right now, and business owners are being affected by that. Like, that's a real thing. So if you're seeing a decline in your sales, you're seeing a decline in the number of people who are attending your events or subscribing to your membership, whatever it is, like, that's not just a you thing. Like, everybody across the board is feeling that. So I think that it is important for us to have these spaces where we're having these conversations for people who are like I used to be, an introvert, like very resistant to going into spaces with other women, or just people in general who are having honest, vulnerable conversations. How important is it in a person's life for them to be a part of these spaces?
Absolutely. Community is the word, right? Community is so important. It's so important. And actually, I love the work that you're doing with She Wins, and I see your retreats and I see all of the things, because we need community more than ever. Like, just being a woman, just being a business owner, being a mom, being all of the things, like, you would be surprised how many people are going through the same things you're going through. And it's just being open to vulnerability, learning to be okay with sharing, learning how to be okay with that transparency. Just don't be afraid of it. Just don't be afraid to lean into it. And support can help you in so many ways. Having a community, you never know who you might meet. You never know what kind of opportunities they have for you, what words of advice, what wisdom. Like, we are here together on this life journey.
Yes. And I love that you said lean in, because there are moments in our lives where we will feel more inclined to isolate. Like, when life is not going right, like, I don't want to burden you, thinking I don't want to burden people with my problems, or, I don't want to go into this space with this type of energy, or I don't want people to see me in a struggle, or I just don't feel like being bothered. And every time that I choose to lean in those moments, I always find some inspiration. Like, I'm always glad that I went. I'm always glad that I accepted the invitation. I'm always glad that I leaned in.
Yes. And I love the lean in, because that can mean so many different things. I think a part of it too is being willing to invest in yourself. So whether it's getting a ticket to the conference or going to a retreat, going to therapy, even when you talk about holistic wellness, like going to the spa, going to get a massage, like going to a workout class, you have to be willing to pour into yourself and invest in yourself.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah.
a whole word. So, as an entrepreneur, how about you tell us, like, what is one of the best investments that you have made in yourself?
Oh, I could share a few. Therapy first and foremost, because I, as a therapist, still have a therapist. I'm very much doing the work that I share with other people. I'm very passionate about it. I'm very much like, okay, what is my self-care plan and routine? So therapy has been great for me. Wellness retreats I started doing because I've been on some beautiful retreats and met some of the best women of my life, like friends, best friends, close friends. Like we traveling, we hanging out together, and so there's so much power in community. And the wellness retreats really provide a space for that. Conferences, right? Trainings, my education, my training as a holistic therapist. These things are things I have invested in, and I'm able to create that freedom and work from home and cook my dinner and do all the things and be present for my child. Like like those things are important to me. Um, Massages for sure, because really you want to be able to. It's just deeper than going to the spa. And we think it's cute, right? But it's like
Mhm.
you got to know how to move emotions and move trauma and move things out of your body.
Mm.
That's how we heal, right?
Mhm.
So doing all of the healing things.
That's good. Yes, I love that. And I love that for you. Like it all does really sound like a lot of resting in your feminine energy.
Yeah, this is where I want to be. I do not. What are they? What's that? It's like a meme. It's like I've been big dog long enough. I don't want to be that. I
I
don't
know
want to be that.
that's right. Like,
It's
yeah, get
survival mode. You want to operate. You want to flourish. You don't want to operate in survival mode.
yes, flourishing
Yeah.
minds. Yes,
Mhm.
you want to flourish. Get somebody else to do it.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Sign and invest in yourself, like having somebody clean and organize your space, having an accountant, like having these people in place. Let these people do it for you.
Yes. Ooh. Now
Yeah.
that's good. That's something. I don't know if you've read that book, We Should All Be Millionaires by Rachel Rogers, but
No, it's back there on my bookshelf.
girl, well, read it this year. But it's so good. Like it really, she opened my eyes to the fact that like you can accomplish so much more by hiring other people to do those things that you don't want to do or don't have time to do, or that, like you said, like we all feel better when our space is clean and
Oh my God.
tidy, right? But if you constantly on the go, you may not have time to do it. So now how is that affecting your energy, right? Are you feeling more anxious and cluttered because that's there? Like hire somebody to get rid of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like that. I had made a post about my closet like maybe a few weeks ago. Same thing. I just did not have sometimes you don't have the mental energy to do things
Yeah.
or the time.
Mhm.
So when I say invest in yourself, I gladly her name was Ranika. I had her come in. I'm supporting her business as a business owner. And
Yeah.
you supporting my mental health and my wellness because I
Come
just
on.
did not have the capacity to do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
When women support women, we all win.
We all winning. And I posted the video. I did not want to post the video because I'm like how vulnerable do you want to be, right? That's
Right.
just like a thing. She got so many referrals from that video. Yeah.
Yay. That's dope. Listen, because everybody got a junkie closet in their
Yeah.
house.
Okay. And
Hey.
it symbolizes so much. So
So you have mentioned retreats a couple of times. You talked about she went society retreats. You talked about the retreats that you've been on. Tell us about your retreats.
yeah, so the Flourishing Minds Wellness Retreat is a wellness retreat that I created strictly to create a safe space for people to come and heal. So we get together in beautiful places. We learn holistic wellness tools. We do yoga. We meditate. We have sound baths. I do workshops theme based. So they're usually themed around something like my last retreat was on the divine feminine. And so it's called the Goddess Awakening Retreat, right?
Ooh.
And we tap into all things divine feminine. So workshops, all of those things are around that. But we get out in nature. We do nature therapy. We get together. We have those real intimate conversations together. We hold each other's hand. We offer each other support. We laugh. We have fun. We dance. Like we do all the things, y'all. So it's really a beautiful place just to disconnect from everyday life and really take the time to sit with yourself, right? You have no distractions, no work, no kids, no partner, none of that. And you can like focus on you. And that might mean taking a nap or resting. It might mean going out and meeting some new ladies. It might mean going and doing something out like an excursion or some kind of extracurricular activity that you normally wouldn't have time to do. And so that's what we do with the Flourishing Minds Wellness Retreat. I have one this weekend, actually. That one's booked. I have I have one in Sedona and one in Phoenix in October. So
what's the dates? What's the dates?
So Sedona is October 4th through the 7th.
Okay.
And then Phoenix is immediately after. It is October 10th through the 13th. So I'm going to just hang out there for a week and do my own thing. But I want to be there long enough to provide different groups the opportunity to come. Arizona is a very healing place. It's that desert energy. That energy is very healing. And so just want to bring people. Like if you haven't had the opportunity to come, you just show up. Everything's covered. The itinerary is full. We got a private chef. We got a house. We got all the things. So they're usually small, intimate groups, so that way we can connect better and bond together. So yeah,
I'll have to see if I can make that because so two confessions. I love Arizona. I love Arizona to the point where me and my husband have literally had conversations about us moving to Arizona. Like I want to live there.
I love it. I love Arizona too.
My second confession is I have been hosting retreats for like 10 years and I have never attended a retreat. Yeah. And I'm like, so for people always like, oh, you're traveling. And my mom's like, oh, you have a good time. And I'm like, I did, but it's work for me. It's not the same.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Just being able to be.
Yes. You need to do that. Because you got to pour into you.
I do. I really do. So I need to look into that. I need to find a way to see if I can make that happen. That would be actually like approximately a month before the conference. That would be probably a nice little
get a recharge, go out there. The energy out there is very healing.
It is. Arizona is it's like no other place in the United States I've ever visited.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, Bali, or if you've been to some of the places, it's like it gives that same energy. For sure.
And so I have two questions for you, but the one before the last is like, we know that you are going to be bringing so much to the She Wins conference, along with your experience, expertise. We know you are bringing like so much positive energy. I know that the women are going to be blessed by your presence. What are you hoping to gain from attending the conference?
I am hoping to gain community, right? Like we need community too, like you just said. So I'm hoping to gain community. I'm looking forward to being in the room and just meeting more women that are boss babes, that are out here doing it every day, that are showing up, dedicated to the work, dedicated to themselves, right? Looking forward to just seeing that room full of women. I'm looking forward to holding space. I'm looking forward to offering hugs, like laughter, smiles, whatever it is that we need to be in that community with each other. I'm very much grateful for the opportunity. So thank you.
Yes, thank you. It's going to be a good time. I just know I can feel it already. A time is going to be had. Okay.
Every time I see, this is good. Like I'm feeling it. I feel the energy. So yeah.
It's a lot of alignment happening. I'm excited. I'm very excited. So the last question I have for you is, how can the people who are watching this, because this is going to live on our YouTube channel, live on our Facebook page. So for anybody watching the replay or watching right now, how can they connect with you? And also, I would love for you to tell anybody who is in the Atlanta area or maybe moving to the Atlanta area, how they can get in touch with you for therapy.
Absolutely. So yes, everything is Therapy with Rikki. That is Instagram, that is YouTube, that is my website. If you connect to me on Instagram, there is a link tree with all of my services, all of the offerings that I offer. You do not have to be in Atlanta for us to connect. Now, if you want therapy, yes, you have to be in Atlanta. But I also offer wellness coaching, which is still going to be us tapping into some of those holistic modalities and us coming up with like self-care routines and those practical stress management tools and techniques. You can be worldwide for that. You can come on a retreat. You can join for virtual events and opportunities and all of the things. So let's connect, let's meet, let's share love with each other, and build community.
Drop your website. I don't think you did that.
Okay, let's see.
Oh, no, you can just say it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it is www.therapywithrikki.com.
Okay. Yep. That works too.
Yeah.
So therapywithrikki.com, y'all. Make sure y'all stay connected with Rikki. And if you want to see her in person, feel her energy in person, and gain a ton more of expertise from her, wisdom from her, knowledge from her, then make sure that you're at the She Wins Conference and Awards on November 9th, 2024 in Atlanta, Georgia. And if you'd like to learn more about all of our honorees and speakers and what you can get by being in attendance, make sure that you visit SheWinsSociety.com. Rikki, it has been an absolute pleasure to share space with you virtually, and I cannot wait to meet you in person.
Yes, thank you so much. I look forward to meeting you as well and meeting everybody else. Y'all, thank you, thank you, thank you. And continue showing up for yourselves. Continue to be on a journey.
Yes, y'all heard it here. Continue showing up for yourselves. All right. And when women support women, we all win. Make sure that you tune into the next episode of Coming to the Stage this Friday, September. It is September, right? September 13th with Michelle Petties. All right, y'all. Until next time, keep growing, keep glowing, keep winning. Have a great evening, Rikki. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.